Hello and welcome to the Omaha Podcast, where Omaha's most successful entrepreneurs help your business grow. I'm your host, Matt Tompkins of Two Brothers Creative, and if you want to appear right here on the podcast, at the end of this episode, I'll tell you how you can do just that. So what can hip-hop teach business owners? Becoming a success in the culture of hip-hop requires every single quality of entrepreneurship: drive, grit, determination, creativity, innovation, risk-taking, vision, and a willingness to grind it out every day. On this episode, we are joined by Omaha legend Houston Alexander, MMA fighter, bare knuckle champion, and founder of the Houston Alexander Foundation's Culture Shock Tour. I just hope he doesn't knock me out today. I'm also very fortunate to call Houston a close friend, although I'm pretty sure he will deny that if you ask him, but we're very close. Houston has been at the forefront of hip hop culture for decades, from b-boying to emceeing, DJing, and of course, knocking people out in the ring. In this episode, we'll see what business owners need to learn from the ultimate entrepreneurs of hip-hop. We're joined now by Houston Alexander, Houston the Assassin Alexander, if you know him from.
Why do you always call me the Assassin?
That's your name in the MMA, UFC world, Bellator. He's a bare knuckle fighter. I mean, how you're fighting? I don't ask your age because I know you don't ask a woman her age. But
I don't care about.
I mean, you're what? Coming up on 50 and you're still knocking people out?
I am 50.
You're 50 years old and he's still knocking people out in the ring.
That's because people don't have the work ethic.
Work ethic?
No, they don't.
I'm also scared. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I would be afraid to then
why
step in the ring with you.
Why do you have the 12 o'clock shadow?
Well, that's, it's deception. I got to fool people to think that I'm like a grizzly tough guy. So Houston Alexander, we've known each other for, I don't know, probably 15 years or so, maybe
we've known
more.
each other for a while.
Good friend of mine. We've, did the TV show Omaha Live together and had a lot of fun with that. And I've had the privilege of working on some cool projects for you with your Houston Alexander Foundation, with the Culture Shock Tour.
I learned a lot from you through radio.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Especially on the political side, because a lot of people don't know that you know a lot about politics.
I know that's the other deception. People think I'm, I don't know what I'm talking about, and then they hear me, and then they're like, "What the? Is he reading a script? What's going on here?" But yeah, you came on my old news talk show for probably 2 or 3 times a week, which was pretty fun. But you are heavily involved, and you have been your entire life in, I guess, hip-hop culture in the black community here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, not even just, the black community, just hip-hop, the hip-hop community.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
You started off back in the day from everything from, b-boy dancing to DJing. You still DJ today. Graffiti artist. You're an incredible graffiti artist.
And helping rappers out, on my radio show.
Yeah, hosting your own radio show.
A little bit of everything.
And you do the Culture Shock Tour with your foundation, specifically to go to schools
and teach the kids about hip hop culture.
Yeah, mostly in Omaha, but really everywhere. You're expanding your reach.
We're hoping to expand.
Yeah, well, that's what we're kind of helping you with doing a virtual tour people could experience online. But I think it's really cool because you're focusing on teaching kids the power of hip hop culture, how positive it is, how much of an influence it has truly had on literally every aspect of our lives. I mean,
because what has happened to the culture itself, you've had the culture go in a negative.
Well, it's portrayed in a negative light by, I think, the media and others, and some people want to monetize that and say, this is what hip hop is, so I'm going to portray this character, But I think what you're doing is the direction it should be, or the thing it should be recognized for. And so we wanted to have you on here on the Omaha Podcast today to talk about your experience in all those areas, because if you're a business owner here, a local business owner in Omaha, you may be thinking, well, what can I learn? What can I take away from a hip hop artist or a graffiti artist or a b-boy dancer or any of this hip hop culture? But actually, you could take away a lot. It was probably 12 years ago, Forbes had an article where they listed the top 10 ways to market and advertise your business. And number one on that list was market yourself like a band. And that's what I want to talk about today, because firsthand better than anyone. I used to play in a band, so I kind of know, but the struggles of having nothing, having no influence,
zero,
no money to buy ads or market. You got to get creative to market your business, or if you're a hip hop artist, that is your business. And so today I want to learn how to market a business like a hip hop artist. Okay. So, and I include hip hop, I include the whole culture in that statement.
And it's weird. It's weird to hear you keep saying hip hop artists when hip hop is actually the culture.
It is. Yeah.
It's actually the culture. And then people keep saying hip hop artists when you have to be more specific, like a rapper.
Yeah. When I say hip hop artist, I include graffiti artist, DJ.
Okay,
MC,
so you're including the whole culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So walk us back to the beginning when you were starting out, and what are some of the common themes you saw with those who made a success of themselves? Because believe it or not, in Omaha in the 90s, hip hop was huge. It was massive. You were driving 5,000-10,000 people to a show every single week.
Yep.
And so what led to their success that you can pinpoint when they started with nothing, didn't have any recognition or money or any of the things we were mentioning there, and were then drawing 5,000 to 10,000 people every week?
I think it was I think we talked about this before, work ethic. And I think with me, I've always had that work ethic to where I wanted better. And I think, and within myself, and I think within other people who are actually doing the actual act, you gotta have the work ethic to want to get stuff done. That's first. And I think watching all that expand and all that come up when I was coming up, especially in the culture itself, I watched people working their butts off, passing out flyers hand to hand. They were doing the word of mouth thing, and I think it was actually touching people. And I tell people this all the time, especially when I do shows, and I see artists and I see people doing all their things. I tell them, you have to start talking to people. Self promotion is the best promotion. You got to, and I get this all the time from coaches. You got to you have to let people know how great you are or want to be. So I think it was the work ethic and letting people know who you are.
And I think too with that, like referral marketing is the best form of marketing, and that is just me referring you and vice versa. And we get caught up with social media. I think we use it as a crutch instead of a tool. I remember when my wife, we actually met, and she would literally follow us around in her car as my brother and I would put flyers in thousands and thousands of under the wipers on the windshield, and it maybe drew one or two people, but we put in that work. And I think today we think, well, I'll just make a social media post or send out a mass email
and think people are going to come see you,
and nobody responds. Why is that? Well, that's because there's no connection. You're not building a relationship. So instead, put in the work and send a direct message or email to that specific person. And it's a lot of work to do that with thousands or hundreds of people, but that will pay off.
But I still think it's that face to face.
Yeah,
it's shaking hands and kissing babies. That's why politicians still do that. That's why you still got to go out and you have to meet the people, because again, as an artist, as a business owner, you still have to go out and you have to meet people.
So you start off with a dream, right? And one of my favorite quotes is that a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? So if you think,
you get that from a meme?
No, I don't remember who. It may have been Coach Tomlin at the center or somebody, I don't know, but it's a great quote that stuck with me. And it's true. I saw this in comedy and entertainment, and I'm sure you've seen on it and can speak to it in the hip hop culture of, a lot of people, everybody has a dream.
Yep.
But it's those who are willing to actually put forth a plan to make that dream a reality. So what have you seen like in hip hop culture here in Omaha that translates to businesses as far as people actually treating this like a legit operation we're going to actually accomplish this?
Well, you start off with the dream, and I can base it kind of on what you've been doing. So you've been wanting to have a great studio like this that we're in right now. You started your dream off with a small idea, and now you got a great studio. So, but the same thing with an artist. You have a dream, but you got to have a great support group. That's number one. And so I think you surrounded yourself with a great support group, or if you're an artist out there or a business owner, find a great support group of people that can help you, because your dream need help. The dream needs help. So find a good support group. And I think with myself, even though I'm pretty self-sufficient, you got to have your support group.
Yeah, I think that's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And whether that's your family, friends, and I also say, like, have you seen yourself and other successful people in the hip hop culture community here in Omaha surround themselves, like they say, like the 5 people you surround yourself with are who you are going to become. You're kind of a manifestation of all those things. So if you surround, like, and it's true, when I surrounded myself with negative influences, people, who, when I was going through my addiction, people who were, abusing themselves and doing things that were not healthy, I found myself doing the same things. And now I surround myself with people like you and, friends of mine, successful business people.
Beat your butt?
Well, yeah, people. I mean, you're the only one who probably can kick my butt, but yeah. But it's true. I see that. Okay, my circle of influence
you have
has
to
changed.
surround yourself.
Do you see that? Have you seen that as well?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who for instance, Terrence Crawford, good boxer, but I believe him coming up in the ranks of boxing here in Omaha, he had a great support group, a great support group of coaches, of family and friends, and that's why he's in the position that he's in now. Because again, you got to have that support group for whether it be hip hop, boxing, sports, or businesses. Have a support group.
So he talked about the work ethic that's a major component.
Yep.
The having the passion and having the hustle, right? I mean, that's such a great word. I mean,
you said that, but that's a great word to bring up. Passion.
Yeah.
If you don't have passion for your dream, then you're not you're going to quit.
Well, like because you coach a lot of people too, and like when we coach people here when we're helping them develop their podcasts and for Two Brothers Creative and with 316 Strategy Group, the one thing I tell them we can't control is your passion. I can't control how passionate you are, how bad you want it, right?
Yep.
I can't control that. We can give you all the right tools and help you in every way possible, but that's the X factor. And that's the difference between, I think, a successful hip hop artist or a successful business. I mean, are you going to have that passion? And it's 24/7, man. It's never off.
Showing up is half the battle.
Oh, it's like 80%, man.
Because again, when we did Omaha Live, half of the show itself was just showing up.
It is
showing up,
and it amazes me too, because I saw this in radio when I managed our internship program. For about 8 years, and I would see there was like 2 interns out of all the 40 interns we had come through that actually stuck it out past 2 weeks. And actually showed up. And guess what? Those 2 people ended up getting jobs in the industry.
There you go.
And, I mean, you probably coach people on the same thing.
Because of their passion.
Well, yeah, you show up. I mean, I remember my friends would just make fun of me at the time because they'd be going out. I'm 23, 24 years old. They're going out partying and going to the bars and clubs every Friday, Saturday night. And I'm up at the radio station, learn how to make stupid jingles and learn how to edit with Adobe Audition. And, I did the same thing with learning how to video edit. I mean, talk about the work you put in and can you see that in the potential like that in somebody? Like, I can see they've got that passion.
Let's switch lanes to MMA. For instance, I get a lot of people coming up to me, man, I want to be an MMA fighter, et cetera, et cetera. And what I tell them is this, and what I want to train with you, Houston Alexander. And I tell them this, meet me at the gym at 6:30 in the morning. You know what I get? I'm just a little early. Then this is what it takes to be, and any type of mixed martial artist. I don't care if you're a wrestler or a boxer. You got to have some type of passion for what you're doing. Yeah. You just can't watch TV and think you can just do something. You can try it. But where's your passion? And I tell people all the time, meet me at the gym at 6:30. And usually half the time, or most of the time, they don't be there.
And I'm glad
no passion.
I'm glad you brought up MMA because that's kind of where I wanted to go next. Because we can use you. I think.
Segue.
Good job. All right. Yeah. Let's use you. Let's use Houston Alexander as a prime example of this. Talk about those days when you didn't want to get up. What drove you to get up? What did you focus on to get you you through some, I mean, to be doing this at 50, you don't even look 50, by the way. I mean, you could easily pass to like 49, but I mean,
just say
I mean, you're still jacked, you're still in great shape, you're still knocking people out. It's incredible. I mean, it really is. And so, you know, I think there's something to some sort of secret to your success, if you will. What was it that you focused on to keep you going through all that?
I think, you know, when I first started off in MMA, I think it was the money.
Yeah. Well,
money's always a great motivator, but see, I've always been able to wrestle and box and do it. I was always a physical guy as far as sports. So when I was introduced to MMA, that was easy because I was probably one of the best street fighters out there at the time. And when I got introduced to it, it was just I already had the passion with hip hop. Mm-hmm. So all I did was just take that same passion for hip hop and just
kind of rinse and repeat,
and right over into MMA. And so once I started getting paid for it and saw that I can get paid for it, that made my passion and made me more want more.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I was already going to the gym already because I was dancing at the time. So I stayed in the gym. And all that hip hop switched over to MMA, and so that's where you get my passion coming from.
So it's that determination. I think discipline is a key I'm hearing there from you.
Yeah, you gotta have discipline because then once you start getting into these mixed martial arts, you gotta have some type of discipline or you will get hurt. And I think having discipline is another way to mentally get yourself tough, mentally focus on kind of being a good person.
Well, I mean, discipline, that's probably one area I struggle with, just with health, physical fitness. A lot of people do. It's creating those new healthy routines, right? And I'm a big proponent of boundaries and routines. And that just means like, okay, I'm going to set a boundary here. Like, this is my time off. This is when I'm working. And so I can't flip flop those two. I can't say, I'm going to sleep in 2 hours. Like, no, this is my time. I said I was going to be.
Oh, you finally set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then I set a boundary. I'm like, okay, Houston, you can't call me at 3 a.m. anymore. I'm not going to go to the gym with you at 5. But I think we think physical fitness with a lot of those routines, but it works in every part of your life. And
it's weird that you mentioned that because I was just talking to a guy at the gym this morning, and he was telling me how he lives for being at the gym now. Because back then, he went from smoking and drinking heavily, and once he started physically putting himself together, he just started to stop doing all that.
Well, yeah, when you turn it, I think it takes like 21 days or something like that to build a healthy routine, right? To break a negative habit, like to quit smoking or to stop drinking or to start something healthy. Because you're right, once you get going with it, then it's like the day you don't go to the gym, you just don't feel the same. You're like, man, I really miss that.
I remember when you first started saying, I want to go back to the gym. And so I think ever since then, you've been going to the gym since then.
One secret I would say here that with building a new routine, like when you want to create a new one that really helps, and I did this because I lost about 45 pounds and changed my nutrition and diet, but going to the gym was tough. And so I just started just going, and psychologists back this up. If you just go, I would just go walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes, go home. Next day, do the same thing. And then maybe the next day I go and I lift some weights. And then eventually it builds up into a new healthy routine where it's like second nature. I'm not even, thinking about it, right?
True story. I think when Nike first came out with the ad, Just Do It, and I saw it on TV, I'm like, that's stupid. That's a stupid ad. And then as I got to training people and I got to doing routines like you're saying you're doing, I told this person, just do it. I'm like, oh man, and I just felt like an idiot after that because that has to be the best slogan ever for people to just do it. Just get up and do what no matter what it is. Yeah. Just do it.
Our old manager, and they had to change this after HR got wind of it, but he had printed all these signs and put them all over the building and said AFDI, and it stand for actually effing do it. They had to change that, obviously, because they're like, wait, what's the F stand for? But it's true. It's true. I mean, I know everybody has a good or maybe a great idea, but it's the difference is those people who actually try, who actually, actually show up and put in the work. Those are the ones who have a chance at succeeding, right?
And so it was weird. We're talking about all these different things, but it's just real simple. Passion, showing up, and moving forward.
Yeah. Absolutely. So before we get some takeaways here, last thing I want to talk to you about is maybe the big missteps that you've seen. We were talking earlier about, using sports as an analogy. Tom Brady isn't the most talented quarterback to ever play the game, but it's his work ethic. LeBron James has the talent, but then he put in the work. He had that work ethic and that discipline. And most of the time, it's not the most talented person that gets the gig, that finds success. Yeah. Because if you have a lot of talent, it's easy to become kind of lazy, use it as a crutch and lean on it too much. So, Michael Jordan is a great example. Like, he had the talent, but he put in the discipline to where every move and step, down to the inch, was perfected. So let's talk about the missteps that you see, the missed opportunities where you see somebody who has some talent, but or maybe they have a dream or a goal, but these are some of the things you've seen that can derail that success.
You know what's funny? A lot of people who have talent sometimes get lazy. A lot of people who I know who are super, super talented, you might be super talented when you're doing graphic designs. You might be super talented DJing, or you might be super talented in radio. I see a lot of people who are so talented, they get lazy.
Yeah.
So this is where you need to just get up off your butt and just do it.
Yeah.
It's going back to that recurring thing of just doing it. And I think that for me, I just had to get up.
Yeah.
And I wanted better. So these people have to want better. And if you're not wanting better, that's a mishap.
Yeah.
If you're not wanting better for yourself, if you're not wanting to get up in the morning, or if you're not wanting to have the work ethic to do it, those are the things that I see a lot of people having missteps on.
It's all decisions and choices we're making. I know that, like, okay, if I stay out late till midnight, I'm making a choice that I can't get up as early tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right.
If I want to improve on my craft, am I making the choice to not practice? I mean, with music, the talented musicians and songwriters, they set aside the hours a day. They're dedicated to it.
So how do you motivate these people to move in that direction? How do you motivate them?
I think part of that is just their own passion that, like you said, we can't control.
Yeah.
But a phrase, I think, to bring this all around full circle that isn't a copyright infringement is one I like to say, and that is, we're doing it. We're doing this.
We're doing it.
We're doing this. Okay. Now you're doing something completely different than I'm doing.
That's a bad.
You're doing this. You're doing something that's totally different than what I'm doing, but we're doing it together. And I think that's what this podcast is, and that's what we hope it is for people here in the Omaha community, business owners and entrepreneurs, no matter what area. If your business is music or MMA or running a donut shop that I'm going to end up frequenting way too often. But the point is, this is a place where we can all encourage and support each other to keep that passion up. Because it is hard to just do it all yourself. And so, like you mentioned, having a team,
the support system.
That's what this is. This podcast is the support system.
But you have to be the head of the team. You have to be that person that they're looking up to move forward with.
So let's wrap this up. What would you say is your top takeaways you would send out now to an entrepreneur or a business owner right here in Omaha? And what you would recommend to them to create their own success story?
Again, starting off, you gotta have a great support team. Okay, that's starting off. But even before you even get to that, you got to have the passion. You have to have the work ethic, and you got to want more than what you have. And you just got to. And I don't want to use the old.
We're doing this.
Oh, we're doing this. There you go.
Yeah.
You got to have that we're doing this attitude. And if you don't have the attitude to get it done, you're not going to be successful. We are doing this. Like, if we wanted to go out and go film something, we're doing this now. If I wanted to go out and do go to the gym, we're doing let's go. Let's not even think about it. Don't think about it. Move forward.
Yeah, it's amazing how that can just naturally change how you react and perceive things. Because with a TV show, it was like, we had a couple months before it started, one camera, 4 lights. It was just me and Ben, my brother. Didn't have a clue what we were going to do, but we said, nope, we're doing this.
Just doing
we're doing it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Figure it out on the way.
And sometimes you figure it out and it's a success. Sometimes you don't, and it's a failure that you're going to learn even more from than you would if it was a success.
So if you're watching,
it's all part of the path.
Yeah, watching this podcast, you can hear the passion in your voice. You can hear the passion in my voice, to a certain degree, because, we're not quitters. Mm-hmm. Don't quit. And we gotta have that we're doing it attitude.
Yeah. Houston Alexander, you can check him out at HoustonAlexanderFoundation.org. Mm-hmm. That's his foundation. Of course, when's your radio show? And you're doing a podcast and some other stuff here in Omaha too, right?
We're still working on the radio show.
Okay.
Because that's in the works. Mm-hmm. And then the podcast, we're working on that. So there's a lot of things that we're working on as well. But again, we're just doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just
and you can follow Houston, of course, on Facebook,
all the
Instagram, all the social channels. So we'll put all that info and links for you in the show notes for this episode. And when's your next fight?
I don't know. I'm sure
it's not against me, is it? I mean, because I.
No, sir.
No,
we're not getting paid.
Terrence Crawford, maybe? No, there you go. It's a showdown.
I'm not doing that with Terrence either.
Me either. Smart decision. See, you've learned along the way. Yeah. Some people you don't want to box with.
But here's the thing. You said I couldn't say the other thing.
Oh, he's breaking out the whistle.
I'm gonna see.
Right. He's been doing this on me for I think probably 8 years now. Yeah, blowing the whistle.
Black on a plate.
It's a classic dad joke. And just like dads, they think it's funnier than it actually is. But that's all right. We'll go with it. All right, Houston, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you coming in here, man.
I appreciate you, big dog.
How would you like to be featured on the Omaha Podcast? We want to help promote your business by featuring it right here on our show. And while you're here in our studio, we also will film and produce a short promotional video for you to take with you and use anywhere you want, along with the video segment from your appearance on the Omaha Podcast. All you have to do is be a subscriber of the podcast to enter to win at podcastwinner.com. That's podcastwinner.com. We'll draw a winner on November 21st. Now, marketing your business can get very complicated for small business owners who don't have the time, the budget, or the personnel to hire big agencies for their marketing. But in reality, it's pretty simple. Your business must get new customers, but nobody knows who you are. So you have to engage with them where they are, online, through social media and digital marketing. But to do that, you need original content that your ideal customer will connect with. That's what we do for businesses every day. We leverage your podcast with video to create a mountain of original content for socials, website, and SEO, search engine optimization. It's marketing prepared for every day of the week. So enter to win. We will draw one winner who will get this Omaha Podcast treatment at podcastwinner.com. This is the Omaha Podcast, where Omaha's most successful entrepreneurs help your business grow.